He's so underrated, but so polarized in here. And listen, I'd be afraid to fight him too if I was in that division.
And he's ready to fight at all times. He is the Mexican monster. Sometimes I'm wondering, is somebody going to hurt him because he's right there in front of them?
It's like I'm sad, I'm upset because of my ambition or whatever, but every time we get into the ring, we know the risk.
I mean, if they don't give me the flowers, I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep getting these big fights, and I'm going to keep winning. I mean,
David Benavidez, true to his nickname, the Mexican Monster, is proving exactly why he is the most feared man in the division. He just pulled back the curtain on one of the most insane sequences in recent boxing history. A relentless 14-punch combination against Anthony Yarde thrown entirely with one hand. He's demonstrating that his pressure isn't just physical, it's calculated destruction. This wasn't just a flurry, it was a message. And Benavidez is breaking it down to show that when he starts swinging, he doesn't stop until the job is done.
That you're finally going to start getting your flowers that you deserve.
I mean, I hope so. I mean, if they don't give me the flowers, I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep getting these big fights, and I'm going to keep winning. I mean, at the end of the day, the only way to silence the critics is going in there and beating the best fighters out there. And I really don't care taking the challenge. You know, this is what I'm about, and I want the biggest challenges possible.
What happened in that ring at 5 a.m. in Riyadh wasn't just a victory, it was a statement. While the rest of the boxing world is asleep, Benavidez is awake, breaking down contenders and forcing referees to save them from life-altering damage.
It's one of those situations that if I won today, things would have just skyrocketed, but I had a humbling defeat to an exceptional, probably future Hall of Famer, considering his resume. So yeah, man, I'm sad, I'm upset because of my ambition or whatever, but every time we get into the ring, we know the risk of taking a knee, because I got hit in it like a few times back to back. And then he hit me when I was down. The ref took 2 points, but after that I was dizzy, I can't lie, I'll be honest with you. Before that I was fine, just like I was worried about the blood. I was like, why is my nose bleeding like this? When he hit me when I was down, yeah, after that it was a bit harder to recover. And I didn't get no time to recover either.
Let's break down the moment that broke the internet. Midway through the fight, things got messy. Anthony Yarde, trying to survive the pressure, tied Benavidez up in a clinch. Strategically, it was the right move. Neutralize the Mexican monster and catch your breath. Yarde had Benavidez's left arm pinned tight against his body, assuming that would stop the offense. He was dead wrong. Instead of waiting for the referee to break them up, Benavidez realized his right hand was free. What followed was a barrage of 14 consecutive uppercuts and hooks, all thrown with the same hand, while Yarde stood there frozen, holding onto the other arm like a lifeline that had already snapped.
Anthony Yarde is a good fighter. You know, came in really prepared. He came in hungry, came in working hard, and he made it a war in there. You know, but I said, this is what I do. I'm not scared of no war. You know, I told him in the ring at like the 6th round when he was all bloody, I'm like, you wanted a shootout, right? This is what you wanted. And he didn't say nothing, so give me a second. So I'm really happy.
Benavidez later explained this moment with a chilling calmness. He said he felt Yarde holding him and just thought, I'm going to let it go. He unleashed a machine gun rhythm of punches into Yarde's face, turning a defensive clinch into a bloodbath. In the post-fight interview, Benavidez asked the reporters, "Did you see that? It was like a movie scene." He wasn't bragging about his technique. He was pointing out the sheer will it took to overwhelm a guy who was trying to stall. He told Yarde right then and there, "You wanted a shootout? This is what you want, right?" It was 14 punches of pure bad intentions that broke Yarde's spirit before his body even hit the canvas.
We saw what Anthony Yarde did against Sergey Kovalev, against Artur Beterbiev. He gave them much tougher fights than he gave you. He was game. I thought he had a good game plan, right? He was trying to box you a bit and punch with you, but your volume took over in the end, your aggression. I mean, when you get going, I love that moment we had when he was holding you. You had the one hand free, and it counted 14 punches you hit him with.
Yeah, he was holding my hand, and you know, I seen an opening, so I'm like, I'm gonna just let it go. And I don't know if you guys caught it, but it was like a moment when he was bleeding everywhere. I'm like, you wanted to go to war, right? You wanted a shootout. This is what you want, right? And then the round just ended, so I thought that was pretty cool. But it was everything I expected it to be.
Here's the crazy part. For the first half of the fight, we were watching a different David Benavidez. He came into this bout with a specific game plan to box, use his jab, and show the world he could be a technical operator. He wanted to prove he wasn't just a brawler, and for a while it worked. He was winning rounds, moving well, and controlling the distance. But then, an accidental clash of heads opened a cut on Benavidez. He admitted later that the cut flipped a switch. The moment he felt the blood trickling down, the technical game plan went out the window. He said he realized he had to be aggressive, and the Mexican monster woke up. It wasn't about points anymore, it was about damage. That singular moment of pain turned a boxing match into a street fight, and unfortunately for Yarde, he was on the receiving end of that shift.
Yeah, I said years ago, Simon, I said years ago, it's all on record, Anthony Yarde needs to get away from Tundi and the team and the setup there as quick as he can, because he's the best in that gym, he's the best around there. Now, you want to be a champion, you want to be a world champion, go and train with people who've won world titles or work with people who are on that level. And if you're the best in the gym, change gyms. I've always said this, if you're the smartest in the room, change rooms. And you know that more than anyone.
Absolutely.
I said this years ago. Now, if he does finally decide, he should have done it years ago, but if he does finally decide to go and do it and make the change, he was number 4 in the Ring Magazine rankings going into that fight. He's certainly not like right down at the bottom of the pecking order. He is probably just one win away from being back in the mix, so to speak. But that's a fight with Benavidez between the number 2 and the number 4 in the Ring Magazine rankings. And tactically, I don't think there was any tactics, and that's what's the hard thing for him to come to.
It'd be interesting.
Benavidez abandoned the back-to-basics approach and reverted to the pressure style that made him famous, walking Yarde down until there was nowhere left to hide.
I think it started, he cut me like around 6. I said, you want to shoot out? Let's go for it then. And you see what I did. We stepped into Monstro's world and he got KO'd.
Well, there was a tiny cut, but it didn't affect you in any way. How would you grade your performance?
I graded B+, you know, I'm not going to lie. I think I could have did a little bit stuff better, but there's always room for improvement. But people wanted to see the knockout. They said I couldn't stop this guy that had no power 175, and you know what I mean? I made it look easier than...
There was another, more desperate reason Benavidez suddenly floored the gas pedal in round 7. It wasn't just the blood, it was the math. During the fight, the referee deducted 2 points from Benavidez. In a sport where fights are often decided by razor-thin margins, losing 2 points is a catastrophe. It essentially hands 2 rounds over to your opponent for free. Benavidez confessed that he had no idea what the judges were thinking. He didn't know if he was ahead or behind, but he knew that with a 2-point deficit, leaving it to the judges was a massive gamble he couldn't afford to take.
You really busted up that right eye. I mean, did you maybe break the orbital?
I don't know, bro. I broke something. You know, it was a good fight. You know what I mean? We both got into it. He cut me. I think that turned me, that you know, to flip the switch in me. You know, I knew how to get it back, and I caught him with the uppercut, and then he just started gushing blood everywhere. I don't know if it was the nose, the eye, or what it was, but I just kept it going, and the blood kept coming out. You know what I mean? It was a pretty cool sight. So, but then I dropped him, and then I got 2 points taken away, and because I didn't know if, I felt like a lot of blood coming out. I didn't know if they were gonna stop the fight because of, you know, that's just how I was thinking. So I'm like, if they stopped the fight, they took 2 points away from me. I don't know where the scar card's at, so I'm gonna just take advantage of this. And I seen him hurt. I hurt him with some body shots, stepped back, hit him with the left hook, and it was over from there.
Now that the dust has settled, Benavidez is using this performance to flex on the rest of the division. Remember, Anthony Yarde is no slouch. He gave light heavyweight kings Artur Beterbiev and Sergey Kovalev some of the hardest fights of their lives. Yarde actually had Beterbiev hurt before eventually getting stopped. But Benavidez? He walked through Yarde like he wasn't even there. Benavidez was quick to point this out, claiming he made the fight look far easier than the current champions did. He credited his jab and his defense, saying he took far less damage than Beterbiev did against the same opponent. It's a bold claim, but the footage backs it up.
Anybody out there still wondering why David Benavidez was the main event, bro? Is anybody out there still wondering why they made David Benavidez the main event? I seen Devin Haney fans crying in my previous post about giving him like a B. That what an A look like from KO. That what an A+ look like from KO. You pepper him. You outbox him. You outclass him. And when you realize he ain't got nothing for you, you go step on his ass. Okay? I told y'all, David Benavidez just made me a lot of money tonight. Channel members, y'all know. What I tell y'all, David Benavidez stoppage between round 7 in round 8. Easy pick. Anthony Yarde gasses. After 4 rounds, David Benavidez gonna turn up and pepper that boy. I think he might have broke his orbital bone, broke his nose, blood leaking. David Benavidez a problem. Bring Dimitri Bivol here, dog. Bring Archer Beterbiev here. Beterbiev my dog. He's just a little too old. Benavidez is him. So, summing up the card real quick. Best fight of the night. Abdullah Mason, Sam Noakes. Best performance of the night. Bam Rodriguez. And David Benavidez is right there with him, but I felt Bam Rodriguez was in there in a unification fight against a world champion. An undefeated fighter. David Benavidez was in there with somebody that already been stopped before 2 times. So David did what he's supposed to do. It looked more brutal. It was more abrupt and more explosive.
This was Benavidez's 3rd fight at 175 pounds, and he feels he has finally answered the critics who said his power wouldn't carry up from super middleweight. By demolishing a durable, dangerous contender like Yarde faster and cleaner than the division's boogeymen, Benavidez has sent a clear message. He isn't just a hype job, he's the real threat at this weight.
25th. Hey, how'd you give him that nickname, the Mexican Monster?
He's so underrated but so polarized in here. And listen, I'd be afraid to fight him too if I was in that division. No one even has a chance against him. It appears to be, I'm talking from facts.
That's true.
He's hungry.
Yeah.
His last the press conference was.
It was lit.
I'm a huge fan of the Benavidez family.
Good people.
My primary opinion of what's been going on right now is that David Benavidez is the most feared man since Iron Mike Tyson. This man is stripping the skirt of Canelo and Dimitri Bivol, and we seen the thong. We seen maxi pads. These dudes got their period. These dudes are leaking when it comes to David Benavidez.
However, it wasn't all easy. Behind the scenes, this camp was a nightmare. Benavidez revealed that he had to rest completely just to conserve enough energy to make the weight and survive the fight.
Yeah. This was your 3rd fight at 175, and I know you were at 68 before this, but I feel like it wasn't easy as weight cut for you, was it?
No, it was hard, bro. Super hard. And this is the first fight I've had where I just chilled the last week. I didn't do anything, you know what I mean? And usually I'm, using all my energy to try to make weight, and that's why I felt so strong today. I felt that's why, I was able to go in there and get the knockout because I conserved my energy and I was able to use it in the fight. And I felt great at this weight.
And first fight outside of North America, you headlined here in Riyadh. What was that experience like for you?
I liked it a lot because I was able to sleep a lot. I thought I was gonna have problems. I thought I was gonna be tired because I fought at 5 a.m. But I slept. I woke up in the morning at 12, ate, slept, got a haircut, then slept again until like 12, so I felt good, bro.
This admission is shocking because he looks so fresh in the ring, but it exposes the reality of his situation. He is a massive guy, and squeezing his frame down to 175 pounds is becoming a health hazard. He managed his sleep schedule perfectly for the 5 a.m. local start time in Riyadh, but the physical toll of the weight cut is undeniable. It's clear that his body is screaming for a change, and after this performance, he's finally listening.
We have like about 4 months and a half working. I knew something big was coming, so, I remained in the gym, even with my whole time off, so, I'm very prepared for this fight. I'm very ready.
Because of that brutal weight cut and the stagnant politics of the division, Benavidez dropped a bombshell immediately after the fight. He is done waiting. For years, he has been chasing Canelo Alvarez, Dimitri Bivol, and Artur Beterbiev. He's been the mandatory challenger, the interim champ, and the guy calling everyone out, but the big contracts never materialize. He stated plainly that since the major stars aren't fighting him, he's not going to sit around and waste his prime.
You said in the ring afterward that you're going to be fighting Zurdo Ramirez, a cruiserweight title fight on May 2nd. Is that a done deal?
It's a done deal. May 2nd, Cinco de Mayo, it's a done deal. And like I said, I ain't waiting for nobody. I'm making my own lane. If Beterbiev, Bivol, Canelo don't want to fight me, I'm going up. I'm going to cruiserweight. There was an opportunity to fight for the 2 belts, so I said, let's get it.
Realistically, we've seen fighters go up before and then come back down. Can you come back down to light heavyweight for fights with Canelo, Beterbiev, or Bivol, or once you're up there, you have to wait and see?
No, I'm a, you know what I mean? We'll take it one fight at a time, but like I said, I take every fight like it's an opportunity. There's an opportunity to go up to 175. Maybe after I get the titles at cruiserweight, there's an opportunity to come down. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm not gonna gain too much muscle going up, and I don't want to get big. I don't want to stay at cruiserweight immediately. You know, I want to come back down. So we're gonna put together a good game plan. We got about 6 months to get ready for that fight, and we're gonna see how much muscle mass we have to put on and what type of strength and conditioning we have to do. But I definitely do want to come down and, you know, get a fight with Bivol, Beterbiev, and Canelo, hopefully in the future.
He confirmed he is officially moving up to cruiserweight. This is a massive risk. He's leaving a division where he is a top contender to jump into a land of giants. But Benavidez insists he plans to keep his muscle mass in check so he can return to 175 pounds if Bivol or Beterbiev ever decide to sign the contract. But for now, he's taking his talents to a heavier weight class to chase belts rather than chasing ghosts.
The best guy at cruiserweight, Jai Apataya. Can we see you fight Jai Apataya? One more fight at cruiserweight.
I don't know. We'll take it one fight at a time, brother. Like I said, I don't know. Everything's possible. I ain't ducking no smoking. I've showed it time and time again that I want the best fights, and I'm gonna make the best fights happen.
We don't have to wait long to see if this gamble pays off. Benavidez didn't just announce a move. He announced a date and a name. He is set to fight Zurdo Ramirez for the cruiserweight title on May 2nd. This is huge. It coincides with Cinco de Mayo weekend, the most prestigious date in boxing for Mexican fighters.
You just picked up your 25th win by way of knockout. How does that sound in your head?
Feels amazing. You know what I mean? It feels like I'm really happy with this, and I just want to keep training hard. But I got some news for you guys. May 2nd, me versus Zurdo Ramirez. I'm going up to cruiserweight to challenge for his title, so I'm excited for that.
Well, there you go. There's your answer right there.
Zurdo Ramirez is a massive cruiserweight who has rebuilt his career after his own loss to Bivol. A clash between Benavidez and Ramirez is a guaranteed war. It's two Mexican stars, both with high output, heavy hands, and something to prove, meeting on a holiday weekend. Benavidez is betting on himself, moving up in weight to take on a champion immediately. It's the kind of dare-to-be-great move that boxing desperately needs right now.
I know your dad. I spoke to your dad, and he said he was training Zurdo for the King Arthur fight. You guys have sparred many times in the past.
Yeah.
What do you make of him as a fighter, and what have you learned from him sparring, doing all the sparring?
He's a great fighter, man. I take nothing away from him. But I feel like this is something we had to do because we had so much great sparring sessions. I told myself, I'm like, man, we have to do it for the fans in front of pay-per-view, for the titles, and it's manifesting itself. So I'm happy that we're gonna go in there, we're gonna give a good fight to the fans, and you know, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna take his belts.
So, what does this all mean for David Benavidez? He proved he can destroy top contenders with one hand tied behind his back. He proved his power translates to 175 pounds. But he also proved that he is tired of the politics. By moving to cruiserweight, he is taking the hardest road possible to a legacy. He could have stayed at 175 and waited for a payday, but instead, he's choosing violence and titles in a new division.
And I just applaud David Benavidez because he ducks no one. What's up? I just applaud the fact that he ducks no one. And he's ready to fight at all times. He is the Mexican monster. Sometimes I'm wondering, is somebody going to hurt him because he's right there in front of them. He doesn't move. But he clearly shows he can take a punch and he can damn sure give one with either hand. He's got speed, he's got power, he's got boxing ability, he's got heart. And I don't know if there's a bigger fan of David Benavidez than me. I really I got a lot of love for his skills.
Whether he clears out the cruiserweight division or eventually drops back down to hunt Canelo, one thing is certain. David Benavidez is the most exciting fighter in the sport right now. He fights at 5 a.m., he fights with point deductions, and he fights when the odds and the weight are stacked against him. May 2nd can't come soon enough. So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.